Hey everybody, Mr. Bookie Boo here. It's the end of the month, which means it's time for another Lego City update. That's right, I made it. It's almost December. I can't believe how quick this year went. Can you believe that? It's insane. And the good news is I've got some really exciting things to share with you in Bricksburg this month. So let's just jump right into it. What you see in front of you is Ninjago Land, which the biggest thing, which you can see in the back, the biggest thing, of course, is if you look just over the Temple of Erujitsu, you're going to see that the mountain is finally done. I finished it. I rebuilt it probably like 4 or 5 times because I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to build it. But I'm pretty happy with the end result, and I think that it looks pretty good. It frames that area. If you remember last month, it was just a big empty space back there, and it just kind of like ended where the temples came together behind the Temple of Erujitsu. There was nothing there. So the giant mountain is the latest big addition to the city. And actually, let me zoom in and I'll show you so you can get a better look at it. So it's basically, it fits right in the corner of the area here. It's literally leans against the corner of the walls, and it's as you can see, it's actually pretty tall as well. It towers over the Temple of Erujitsu, which is kind of what I wanted. So when I'm doing photography and stuff, there's a nice, backdrop behind that, and it's also in wraps around, so there's tunnels on both sides. There's a tunnel here, and then there's a tunnel behind the this blue temple over here, which isn't really complete yet, but you can kind of see. And so this was actually a fun project to work on. This actually took me, like I said, I rebuilt it probably like 4 or 5 times at least, maybe 6, I don't know. I just kept playing around with different ideas. The one thing I'll show you, which was actually pretty cool, is I used these what are these, like angled burps. So instead of the normal ones that I like to use for the tunnels, instead of these guys, I use these special ones here. So I was able to get these on Bricklink. They're pretty cheap because they're not very useful for a lot of things. But for corner mountains, they're awesome. They stack really well. Once I figured out how to stack them, when I first started doing it, I was actually trying to like stack them like this, and they're not very stable. But then I figured out if you lock them in place like this, they actually become pretty stable on their own. And you can see kind of how the slope gradually kind of goes up based on that. So that's what that mountain is composed of, is probably, I'd say there's probably about 40 to 50 of these slopes or these burps in that mountain. And then the rest of the mountain is made up of just like random angle bricks, random like slopes, bricks, whatever, just to kind of give it a little bit of variation so it's not boring, and then also to fill in the gaps. You can see that kind of on the sides. If you look over here, you can see where I fill in the gaps with like just regular bricks and whatnot. And then also just to give it a little bit so it wasn't just big gray boring mountain, I'm starting to add some texture to it so you can see the plants and stuff. And then at the top, I'm experimenting with the snow. What do you guys think about the snow? Yay, nay? Do I need to add more snow, less snow, maybe more rock or something to differentiate and transition between the snow and then the peaks? I'm not sure. I added a little Ninjago flag at the top there. You can kind of see. Actually, I can probably zoom in. Let's see. There we go. So you can kind of see the top of the mountain. Sorry, my tripod's not very stable. And then otherwise, the waterfall I rebuilt over here by the Temple of the Ultimate Weapon. I'll kind of zoom in here so you can see that. I reworked the stairs just a little bit, and the waterfall is getting a little bit different as well. I rebuilt that area. I actually made it so that the temple would sit a little bit further, more flush to the wall, a little bit closer to the wall there. I had to take out there was like a special, here actually I have the piece right here. I actually took this piece out. This is like where they can jump from pole to pole to get to like the treasure in the middle of this thing, and this thing like stuck out the back, so it stuck out like 6 studs in the back, so I couldn't push it as far against the wall as I wanted to, so I removed that. That gave me a little more space to play with here. And then I kind of redid the slopes on the inside of the on the face of the mountain, so it's a little more, it's not as much of a sheer drop. And so then I'm still doing messing with the waterfall. I'm still taking some of you guys that you had the advice to vary the colors a little bit. I'm looking into that. I'm not comfortable With that, I'll admit it. It's like I struggle with the colors to get it right, to make it look. It looks funny to me when I do that, but I'm still playing around with that a bit. And then the other cool thing I'm actually doing here, I got some good advice. Is what I want to do is make this into like a cherry blossom tree. So I've got the tree structures started, and then I'm gonna get. I actually brick linked a whole bunch of these like magenta flowers that are going to go on top of it to make it look like a cherry blossom tree. So that's going to be a big cherry blossom. I might extend the branches a little bit out more, and it's going to kind of sit over Darius Dojo and kind of tie in with this tree over here as well. I'm also messing around with like the fall foliage trees to kind of fit in with the Temple Irajitsu at the top there. That tree needs a little more work. It's a little not very fleshed out right now, but again, little progress. This over here, though, this I'm excited to share with you. I actually just picked this up today. Toys R Us has most of the new 2018 Lego sets, like the Winter Wave. They're out, so be on the lookout. I don't know. I think people have been saying they found a few sets at like Target and Walmart as well. But Toys R Us has pretty much everything out at this point. And I got this sweet rickshaw, which goes in Ninjago City like perfectly. I love this. This thing's like awesome. I saw that and I was like, I have to have this. And then also I got like the shark thing over here, which I don't know. It came with it, so I was like, well, whatever. I'll build it and put it in the city and see. And probably the boys will love playing with that. But that rickshaw is like awesome, top notch. Moving along over here, you can see, like I said, the tunnel portal is pretty much done. I added a lot of texture in here. I didn't do too much with the brickwork because most of it's hidden and you're not really going to see it. But I did add some plants and stuff again, and just to break up the color scheme and whatnot. And then like the mountain, I'm still working on the slope over here, but the tunnel's actually pretty much done at this point. And of course we have that red dragon temple sitting on top, and we got some really crazy stairs. If you want to get in shape, you go walking up and down those stairs every day, you'll be in shape in no time, right? That's it for the Ninjago land, which again I think is pretty darn cool. I'm pretty happy with how it came together. To me, it looks pretty cool with everything in there. And it's coming together nicely. I think I want to get a couple more of those, the Ninjago chase sets that have these like string lights and the little tuk-tuks as well, just so I can have a little more like detail in the city. But overall, pretty happy with that. Let's look at some of the other parts of Bricksburg and see what else is going on. So over here, my eternal struggle of stuff, right? Not much progress over here. Ninjago Land took up most of my time this month. I do have a few thoughts on this area though, and I have a few ideas and things. I'm tempted to kind of rebuild these little mini modulars again and make them a little bit bigger than what they are right now, so they do fit in a little better with the more traditional modulars, but not too much here. One thing I will point out, you'll notice in the bags over here, bags and bags of windows. So the next exciting thing that I'm going to show you is over here. Disney Castle, not much changed. But as we move along Main Street, we're going to come over here and you're going to see the facades are starting to take shape. So you can see I've got two of them up. I'm still adding detail to the top, to the roof lines of them. I'm not quite happy with how the roofs look right now. But you can see, let's get a little bit better angle here. You can definitely see how they're coming together. And I think I'm really happy with how this is like fitting in with everything. My goal was, so my problem, as you know, is Bricksburg is very narrow. The tables, if I pull out, you can see the tables are literally like 3 base plates across. They're not very wide at all. So I don't have much depth in my city. So I can't, I can't, like some of the really awesome cities that I see online where they're like on a full-on like a dining room table and they have multiple streets and stuff, and then you have just like buildings all over the place. I can't do that because I don't have the room to do that. So my thought was to steal a little tip and a trick from Hollywood and to do some facades, which is what you see here. So these facades, I'm kind of varying them. I'm experimenting with it because I've never built anything like this. I've been doing a lot of research on Lego skyscrapers and whatnot. And I didn't want like full-blown skyscrapers, which are too tall, because I don't want to like take away from the main scene down below. But what I really wanted to do was just give more depth to my city, so it wasn't just a row of buildings and that was it. Which I think, again, I'm starting to capture here with these facades. So they're really simple. The intent is not for them to be as detailed as the modulars down below, because I want people's eye to be drawn to the modulars because they're amazing with all the detail. And so these are a little bit simpler, but it's just to, again, just to give you a little bit of a backdrop, so it's not this boring blue wall or just nothing or whatever. It just gives you a little bit more life to the city, I feel. So I'll show you. I've got another one that's already in the works over here, and I'll show you just how simple it is. So this is a brown one that I'm working on right here, and you can see it's literally just 2 studs deep, and it's just a framework with some bricks and whatnot, and then there's just a bunch of windows, and it literally will just sit. I can show you how they sit back here. They sit behind the track in most instances, and so this would literally just sit like, you know, like kind of like this. Pretty simple, right? This other one, the gray one, I will show you as I put down the facade. The gray one, I'll show you though, is actually there's actually a tunnel that I created, so you can see that if I get the angle right. You can see I'm still kind of working on it. There you go. But you can see, so the train actually goes through that building. Again, that's just to kind of give you a different, just to give it some variation of depth, so they're not all like flush on the wall and it's kind of not really 3-dimensional. So that's why I decided to do that. But again, I'm pretty excited about that. My goal is to have facades pretty much the whole length of the Main Street, at least like on this half over here, and then potentially over here as well. I really, since I've been doing this, I really want to rebuild the Avengers Tower and make it bigger. There's some really good guys online that have made some amazing Avenger Tower modifications and creations, and so I kind of want to make this thing bigger so it kind of fits in tune with these other facades that I'm doing. So I'd probably make it, you know, maybe like add another, I don't know, 16 studs or so to it to make it just a little bit deeper, make it fit in a little better. I've added the VIP sign billboard. So I got the idea from the Grand Emporium billboard. I was like, oh, that's a great idea. I should have another billboard. And I was like, what am I going to do with this VIP sign? So I decided, oh, just build another billboard. So that's what you see there. And over here, last but not least, I think that I finally got an idea for this area. So this is going to be a parking lot. This is going to be a lot of different things at different points in time. At one point, it was going to be a park. Then it was a parking lot. Then it was going to be like a storefront. I started doing the parking lot last time, if you remember. And then something amazing happened. This really cool set came out. This is the skate park. I just got this today as well. The skate house, the modular skate house. This is the brand new creator set for 2018. Toys R Us had it. It's a pretty cool set. It's got all kinds of neat little stuff. But the thing I really liked is down here in the corner. Is actually one of the 3-in-1 builds is actually a skate park. And so you can see it a little bit better over here. And I was thinking, what a great idea to have a skate park right next to the whole amusement playground area. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do the skate park there, and then I think that'll be that finally, right? It's been what, 6 months since I haven't had anything there. Now the rest of the layout is pretty much unchanged. The ocean's still the same. The harbor's a mess. But here's the really interesting thing, and this is I'm curious to see what you guys say about all this stuff too. So what I'm thinking of is I'm planning Bricksburg 2.0, like the entire city, not just one little area, not just one little thing. I'm actually thinking sometime in 2018, and I don't know when it'll be. I'm probably going to dismantle the entire city and rebuild it. I know it's crazy. It sounds like, like, oh my gosh. But so here's the question for you guys. How often do you rebuild your city? I know a few of the people that I follow have recently, it's kind of been like a theme I've seen online. Like people just totally just say, you know what, I'm just going to dismantle it and start all over again. And it seems like it'd be kind of a fun idea. Now, some of the things that I'm thinking of right now, and I'm just in the early phases of it, is over here where the ocean is. Disney Castle is going to be right over here. It's going to be up on a hill. The train tracks are going to be actually extend a little bit further. There's going to be a tunnel in the front, and then the Disney Castle is sitting on top of like a mesa or a bluff, you know, like a flat mountaintop. And then I just think that would look pretty cool because this is also like where you walk into the room. So I want something that looks really, you know, eye-popping in this area. And then also the other really reason why I'm contemplating this is because if you notice, as you look down Main Street, I'm pretty much out of room for modulars. And I know there's a modular coming out. It looks like the diner is going to be the official set. It looks like the January calendar leaked today, and it looks like, so that's pretty much confirmed that the diner is the next set. I don't know where I'm going to put that. I can put it all the way down at the end by the Disney Castle. But then after that, in 2019, no room for modulars. So, again, why I'm thinking it might be time to redo it. So anyways, that's my question for you guys. How often do you rebuild your city? Have you rebuilt your city? Have you just said, you know what, I'm going to start all over again. Scrap it. Take it apart. Redo it. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think I think that's part of the fun, right? Is you get to rebuild and have fun. And the downside is like all that hard work is for, that you did is like kind of for nothing, because there's a lot of custom stuff that won't obviously fit in the new layout. But, I don't know. I think, but anyway, so that will be coming in 2018, a newly redesigned Bricksburg. And I'm still kind of figuring out, I'm thinking maybe where the Disney Castle is now, that might become Ninjago Land in that corner. The ocean will probably move to the far corner where Ninjago Land is now. Things like that. So I'm just kind of starting to think of this. I'd love to find a way to get the Ghostbusters headquarters into the city somehow, which I can't currently do. And I'd also like to get that merry-go-round in here too somewhere, maybe by the Disney Castle. So anyway, that's it for this month. Thanks for watching. And if you liked the video, I appreciate it if you could give me some likes. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. And I will be back real soon with another video. Thanks for watching.